Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be going over this awesome machine. This is the Hammer Strength Ground-Based Squat Lunge. So if you have this machine in your gym, you are one of the lucky ones. I'm going to be showing you how to use it because the pictures that you see on the front of this machine actually aren't going to be completely helpful. A lot of the work it has you doing is actually set in the machine, going through some squat patterns or RDLs, but because of the mechanics and physics, actually that's not the best way to use this machine. I'm going to walk you through how we can get the biggest bang for our buck from this. So I'm going to walk you through a few ways that I like using this machine. The first one we're going to go over is with our RDLs. So a lot of times people will tell me that they really struggle with RDLs because they feel it mostly in their back. And typically the reason why they feel that way is because they are thinking about an up and down motion and they're actually exceeding the active range of their glutes and their hamstrings, and they just keep going too far down. Well, it's really easy to do that with a bar. So a lot of times when people tell me they really struggle with that and they have this machine, I'm going to swap out a bar and use this machine instead, because what it's going to allow you to do is going to give you the stability you need to be able to focus on just moving your hips back and forward. Sometimes our front toes come up and it can throw off our balance. But with this machine, it's going to be a little bit different. It allows you to really focus on that hinge movement, pushing back and forward without losing your balance. And so if you find that your back tends to feel it a lot during RDLs, or you just are newer and don't know that hip hinge movement pattern yet, you can actually learn it really well with this machine. So instead of sitting inside of it, like the instructions say, you're actually going to stand outside of it. And that has to do with physics. If you were to sit inside of it, the weights are actually going to be closer to the joint that it's acting on, and it's not going to load it as well. If you're standing this way, now as you're going through this motion, you push your hips back. See, I'm able to really focus on pushing them back because this machine is giving me the counterbalance and stability. And you'll notice that the weights are really far away from my hips, the joint that it's acting on. And so it's going to load it really well. If I'm standing this way and going through this motion, you actually have to put your feet closer to right here where your hands are, and then go back. Look at how close the weights are to my hips. And also the curving of the bar and everything doesn't allow that range of motion that we want to, that we can get by standing outside of the machine and looking in. So this will really help you, give you that stability as you learn to push the hips back, forward, because it's going to, in a far more stable way, give you that counterbalance, and you don't have to worry about balancing the bar or anything like that as we're going through this movement. So another way that I love using this machine is actually going to be with drop lunges as well, or even curtsy lunges. Once again, you're going to face inward, and you can either step straight back if you're doing a regular lunge and come up, or if we're doing more of a curtsy, then the back leg is going to be more in line with the front. So you'll step back more in line with that. That will shift the hips over and be working a little bit more of the upper glutes. This can be great for both beginners and advanced, right? Because beginners are oftentimes trying to learn stability. Advanced are trying to test their strength or are really working on hypertrophy, right? Which increasing stability is going to do that in both cases. Push the hips back. You can even take it slow, barely touch the ground with your back foot and come up. So this is awesome because we're not using the back foot to launch us up like sometimes people do with dumbbells. We're able to get so much stability from this machine that we can just step back really controlled and then come up. It does have this bar right here so that we can do more of an elevated Bulgarian split squat. And in that case, you can use it in more of this way. But honestly, for me to get the depth that I need for my Bulgarian split squat, this machine bottoms out before I can get my depth. I'm not a huge fan, once again, of using it in the manner that they've shown. I mean, you could solve that by grabbing something like a weight, maybe putting your foot elevating so that you can then get that depth there and then go through that motion like that. That's gonna feel a little bit better. You can get the depth that you need for it. For all the other movement patterns though, the hip hinging patterns, we are going to be standing like this, facing towards the machine, not facing out. Okay guys, so hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully if you see this machine in your gym, you're not scared of it. You know how to use it really, really well. We're not gonna be so much sitting inside of it as we are going to be using it in this manner more outside.